like those original movies, they're just solid kind of fantasy movies. It's not like some grand, like there's world building in them, but it's not some epic tale.
Yeah.
It'd be like making a whole universe out of Back to the Future. Where it's like those are just 3 movies that were solid movies, and then that's kind of it. Like you can't have an expanded universe for Back to the Future.
But it's too profitable, and they can't leave this alone. They have to keep trying something. Yeah. And it's going to be just the same things rearranged.
I guess that's the frustrating part about this movie is that there are attempts at new ideas.
Yes.
To take it in a different direction, but it still feels like more of the same, despite that.
At the end of the day, we have man with a lightsaber in black armor with a giant army fighting a small band of rebels with a young, inexperienced Jedi helping them. At the end of the day, that's what you have. That's what Star Wars is. It's always going to be some variation on that.
I can't believe what I just saw.
It was the best thing ever.
I gotta go watch this trailer like 300 times and then watch it again another 300 times.
The online community of people talking about Star Wars, it's just like a race to see who can either hate the movies the most or who can be the most contrarian. It's like the contrarian Olympics.
And everyone wins a gold medal.
Everybody wins.
Well, you talked about the original trilogy, and it's like people responded to those movies with such fandom and excitement because they liked the movies, and now that's inverted. Now they're responding to
more about the brand.
The brand, and before the movie comes out, like those Star Wars like fan conventions. What are they called? Disney Expo.
Star Wars Celebration.
The Star Wars Celebration, where they're like, here's the trailer, and it's like an auditorium of like 50,000 people, and they're all like cheering, and you know they have people up there, and it's like a political rally, and you know Kathleen Kennedy's like pounding her fists on a podium, and you know everyone's like holding up signs, so you have this weird flock mentality, sheep mentality of people that are just like blind fans to this. It's almost like a cult now. And then the movie comes out and everybody hates it. And then they say, here's another one for you, and everyone fills up that auditorium again and starts like cheering. It's like grown-ups acting like children. Like children cheer for movie trailers. Children cheer.
Yeah.
I cried the whole time.
Or you wait till the movie comes out, you watch it, either you like it or you don't, and then you move on with your life.
We do like post-mortem, we look at all the things in it, what went wrong, what went right, we tend to break things down, but like you said, it's very black or white with some of the people out there where they're just like, fuck you, Yeah. And it's strange. I think to me the strangest part is people just like screaming their heads off. It's like Beatlemania, make another Beatles reference. It's like the girls screaming on the Ed Sullivan Show for something, except it's grown men and women.
Men, mostly.
Mostly men. Wearing like Porg costumes, they're in their 40s, and they're like pulling their hair out and screaming. And it's almost like conditioned, like a political rally. Yeah. That's kind of what I mean, where it's like our political candidate can do no wrong. They're perfect in every way. Look at our political candidate. It's even those behind the scenes things on like The Force Awakens or the Rogue One Blu-ray. Have you ever watched any of those?
No.
They're very calculated.
They're so glossy, and everybody got along great on set, and this is such a beautiful experience, and our political candidate can do no wrong.
Contrast that with the Phantom Menace behind the scenes.
Yes, yes.
If I forget to say action or cut, just step in and say action and cut. I manage action and cut and faster and more intense. And then mostly I sit there looking miserable and quiet.
It makes you even look back on the original trilogy and even the prequel trilogy to a certain extent and appreciate like the realness of it. Now it feels like there's a gloss over everything, and you can't really see what's behind the glass.
Welcome to Disney.
The way I approached how we would go about making episode 7 wasn't any different than what we would do with any large tentpole movie today.
There was a very brief period of time when Star Wars was just a series of well-liked blockbusters. And now it's not special anymore.
And for the record, I don't think this is terrible. It's sporadically interesting. Isn't that an accurate statement?
That's a very good quote.
Yes.
Jay, you once said, I will know if I want to keep watching the Star Wars movies based on The Last Jedi.
Yes, that was my whole thing, was like, yeah, Force Awakens is a rehash, but it does a good job of capturing the spirit of Star Wars. And now that it's out of the way, the second movie is the time to become its own thing. This is not including any of the side movies or whatever. This is the main story.
And the prognosis?
This movie does its own thing, kind of, but by the end of it, I wasn't like interested in knowing what happens to any of these characters after this. This movie feels like it has sort of a finality to it. And it feels like the last movie in a trilogy.
That's what I was going to say. Where can you go from here?
And that's the problem. I'm not terribly excited or interested to see where they go next.
The only thing they have to work with is we have to shoot and kill Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
We're going to fight the bad guys. Not we have to get Han back. Not, oh, I just learned this horrible thing about my father. What do I do? Yeah. There's like nowhere to grow. No, it wasn't because he wasn't trained how to use a lightsaber, but she still beat Kylo Ren.
This one, no.
Unsubscribed. She's a Mary Sue.
She ain't no fucking Mary Sue in this one. Everybody fails. Nobody's a Mary Sue. See you again in 2 years for the next one.
When they just have to blow up a super weapon and she has to get into a lightsaber fight with Kylo Ren again. Because they can't do anything new or interesting with Star Wars. They just can't. It's not there. I'm sorry. You've wasted your life and your fandom.
You know what would be great is if the next like Star Wars, what is it, fandom?
Star Wars Celebration.
Celebration. It's just like 11 people scattered throughout this giant auditorium.
Well, that's not going to happen, and you know it. It's not going to happen, and you know it.
And then they go, can everyone come down to the front row? You all don't have to spread around. We can see you closer if you come down to the front.
We've got a very special guest. We've got Anthony Daniels here. You want to see him, right?
Oh, let me talk about how C-3PO changed the world.
I can't wait for the 10th movie in the series where Rey's child has grown up to worship Kylo Ren, and then he betrays the Jedi Order and becomes a Sith Lord, and teams up with a previously unseen Sith Lord. And then Rey gets upset by that, so she goes in hiding on a planet, and then a new kid has to show up who's got some Force. And he teams up with Maz Kanata on the Millennium Falcon.
Is there a super weapon?
Yeah, of course. There's going to be a gas giant is going to turn into a new Death Star. Because it's going to be a much bigger planet than the other one. It's going to be like the laser's going to come out of Jupiter's spot. This Death Star is also going to have a Jupiter spot that just shoots giant lasers that destroy it destroys like half the galaxy.
Rich, stop giving them ideas.
And then Luke's ghost is going to show up and use lightning to burn down a tree.
Oh well, fuck it.
It's gonna go in new and exciting directions. Yet it's gonna be horribly familiar.